good to see you again, Ellen.
Yeah, good to see you too. Yeah.
I know the past session we were talking a little bit about some of these things that were coming up around sort of big issues that were weighing heavy on you.
Yeah.
Really making you feel like you didn't have a lot of control over sort of outcomes, and they felt just like you couldn't manage them.
Yeah.
It was just really making you question a lot. So I wondered if we could actually dive into that a little bit more today.
Yeah.
Maybe if there was one sort of instance you want to bring to light that we could maybe walk through.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah.
Great.
I had a very, very memorable incident on Tuesday. So like Halloween was Wednesday and Tuesday was kind of my day off. So I had some errands to do and went down to Columbia Heights, and it's kind of like a mall right there. Like there's Target, there's DSW where I bought shoes, there's Five Below where I was looking for Halloween crap. And I don't like it there. I don't like shopping. It feels like a really unpleasant, it feels like a chore, like an unpleasant chore that I have to go through. I don't really like spending money, buying things. Anyway, so that kind of sets the scene, right? Like crowds, I'm doing these tasks that I don't enjoy, spending money, which makes me uncomfortable. And Columbia Heights and that particular spot, it's like a teeming mass of humanity. And this was in the middle of the day on a Tuesday. It's not even half of what it would be like if I were to go down like on a Saturday, and just the level of crowding.
Yeah.
And I would say actually what I experienced, like being in Five Below, seeing all the plastic stuff from China that's like gonna end up in a landfill, and seeing all the people who like I think this was an assumption I made, but like they don't have a lot, right? But they're buying stuff, right? And they're on the, it felt really like a dystopia that I was in. And I remember having the thought, I don't think any of these people care, which is such an interesting thought, right? Because I don't know that, but I think I felt very alone with like, there's too many humans, we're destroying the planet, and I'm the only one who is thinking about this right now.
Right.
Which again is an assumption.
Right.
But the other thing is that if you're poor, like I just feel like your environmental, also poor people don't have the highest environmental impact. That's another reason that this was interesting. Here I am like kind of like hating on this like teeming mass of like people in Columbia Heights, when I also know that they're not the biggest carbon emitters in our world.
Right.
Poor people are not. So anyway, I don't know. It was just, I think I felt very cut off from my fellow humans and not liking them, and kind of not liking myself for not liking them. Yeah. So it was an interesting moment. It was, feelings of aversion. I mean, in the Buddhist like language that I use sometimes, it was aversion.
Right. I'm also hearing the just feelings of being alone in that.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's an interesting piece of it.
Yeah. I think climate change stuff is like that because so many people are in denial and people don't want to hear it. And they'd rather just be able to keep shopping and keep. So there's a sense of like, is anyone else seeing this?
Right. Right.
And you feel kind of crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't know necessarily what the customer next to you they're bringing to the table as far as their own purchasing dilemma. In that moment. But it seems to be you're allowing that narrative in some way to play out a little bit. I'm curious a little bit more of.
Well, it's interesting what you said too, because I think what you just said sparked for me. It's a dehumanizing environment for us all.
Yeah.
Concrete, shopping and these escalators, and it just feels a little dehumanizing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like some part of me just got activated by the environment, and it made me want to push people away.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I did not feel like we're all one,
right.
or whatever, which is interesting too, because in the wake of this shooting last week, it's like, oh my God, do I feel at one with my fellow humans? That's almost too painful,
right,
to consider.
And why do you feel like that's too painful? Like, what's what's at the base of that well?
Yeah, I mean,
is it despair or like utter loneliness?
Just, it is a fundamental tension, isn't it? Right? When you're like, there's too many of us and we're destroying the planet, and I'm one of us.
Right.
And I don't want to be one of us.
Right.
I think it's more comfortable to judge and distance myself from the teeming mass of humanity. I mean, there's stuff about reproducing and just, yeah. It's so out of control. Like, the issues with the climate and the planet are so out of my control that I feel like maybe this aversion is a way for me to feel like I have some control, and I can point the finger at someone who has too many kids, or I can point the finger at someone who,
or all these people are out shopping, buying cheap plastic products
that's gonna end up in the garbage,
right? Or in the oceans, or where have you,
right? Yep.
And so you can control that thinking.
Yep.
But yet it comes back to you, because then you're also a participant.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You participate.
I was feeling that as well, and it was a very icky feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm wondering, because I'm familiar with the Columbia Heights area you're talking about. I'm wondering if you've been there at one point, maybe not to shop at Five Below, maybe to be in that space where it hasn't felt so negative. Like, has there been a time where you've,
yeah,
or we don't even need to stick to Columbia Heights, where you're able to be in a space like that, in a consumer sort of, you're buying products, you're participating in that aspect of humanity, and it's not stressing you out. You're just
That's a good question. I mean, the first thing that popped to my mind was like our farmers market.
Okay.
Which feels really different.
Okay.
And you know what? It's substantively is different. And because for so many reasons, right? It's like you're directly supporting, like you can kind of see where things are. It's not just like a bunch of stuff from China. So that feels good. Like, I can remember getting a lot of joy out of going to our farmers market on Sunday. I did that a lot in the summer, and then you know what? My teaching schedule has made it so that I can't go. I mean, I remember it helped me to feel connected, because I think like that exchange, like the exchange of like, here, I worked my butt off and made this or grew this or whatever, and my supporting that feels so good. It's the opposite of this alienation that I was experiencing in the big box stores.
Right. Which really has probably nothing to do with the consumer that is there, but the actual...
It's the environment.
The environment. What's available.
And the meaning behind it, because it is a totally different meaning, actually.
It would be fun to imagine Columbia Heights, where there were, farmers markets and... maybe some more local shops that maybe are selling sustainable goods.
And all the amazing people. Because like, I feel, if I walk 2 blocks off of that strip in Columbia Heights, I feel like I have a totally different experience of what the community is, or who these people are. It's really interesting. I think that environment is so alienating.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, I mean, this is all, I I think it's hard. I feel like you're starting to tease out.
Yeah.
It's your role, others' roles.
Yeah.
What are sort of the bigger factors here? How you don't really have control too.
Yeah.
No, a lot of individuals don't have control of
Totally
what it is you consume.
Yeah, I'm very conscious of that.
Right.
You know, of like, so like even if I judge someone, then I judge myself for judging them because I'm like, you know, our system's totally
Right.
broken and this person has.
Right. So you see it on that bigger systemic level.
Yeah, I do. I
And
do.
so I'm wondering if we can think a little bit about kind of a way to help to manage some of what I'm seeing, and
Yeah.
agree with me or not, is
Yeah.
it creates anxiety for you.
I mean, maybe, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, certainly. There's definitely an anxiety, but what I came so close in touch with is just almost like a hatred. Almost just, I mean, it's not really a hatred, but it's just like this rejection. I just want to,
Yep.
you know, push it away. I do feel like just being conscious of that dynamic is really helpful. Just being like, okay, some of these places feel so icky to me
Right.
that for reasons that are very valid, that I then turn that out on everybody around me.
Okay.
And when I'm in an environment that feels like it's aligning with my values, also the goodness that I'm getting is also spread
Right.
to the people around me. And I'm seeing them in this positive light.
Right.
So it's actually fascinating to me.
Right.
It makes me want to, it sounds so corny because there's like buy local and like
Sure.
whatever, but there's something really deep about it. Like even
Absolutely.
Halloween just happened and people were coming over and I was meeting their kids and dropping a little thing in their basket. That's also an exchange, but that was cheap candy that was like mass manufactured. So it's obviously not just the object. It's something about the context where I'm like with other humans.
It's the meaning.
It's the meaning.
Yeah. It's the meaning, and I'm hearing connection. I'm
Yeah.
hearing community. I'm
Yeah.
hearing also then within that the celebrating of those pieces
Yeah.
then gets overshadowed by the larger sort of systemic pieces
Yeah.
that are things you don't feel like you're in control of.
Right. And
You
I
know.
don't feel bad about the Halloween
Right.
candy.
No.
I mean, I don't think I don't actually have any moral
Right.
objections to the candy, but
Yeah.
maybe I should, right? Oh my God, someone could probably tell me,
Right.
you know, why I should.
Right.
So it is a little bit of a minefield, but this is helpful.
And I'm wondering just
Yeah.
like the final piece here about, you know, you seem to be able to balance. I feel like as we've talked about this,
Yeah.
you seem to be able to balance a little bit. You're not just walking around with a hatred.
No.
All the
It was kind
time.
of temporary,
Yeah.
but it stuck in my mind because it was such a like, I call them scenes of urban misery.
Oh, okay. Hey, I like it.
It's a new thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing with me.
Right.
When I was in Chicago and
Yeah.
somebody in front of me would just be counting dimes into the hand of the, you know, it doesn't feel great sometimes to see this. There's just a struggle.
Yeah. But the piece that I saw your face light up with, as far as the buy local, the community piece.
Yeah.
You know, I'm wondering.
Participating.
I'm wondering if you're able to, you know, you're juggling a lot in your life, able to participate in a level where you feel like you're able to make some sort of change within
Yeah.
this larger sort of the systemic
Yeah.
conundrum that you've articulated.
Well, and it's so funny too because I said to you in the beginning how much I hate shopping and how resistant I am to spending money. So it's really interesting to realize that indeed I do light up when I think about, you know, purchasing something from an artist or from a local farm, and that I really value what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good thing for me to be in touch with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like that does bring you a little bit of joy too.
It does. Yeah, it definitely does. And I miss being able to go, you know, with my work schedule to be able to go there because it was kind of a way of showing what I care about, even just for a short time in my week, right? And exerting a little bit of that agency, like, oh yeah, I care about this. This is a good thing. I want to throw my support behind it.
Well, it sounds like your farmer's market, you're still able to get to that occasionally?
Let's see. God, it's like literally I teach for like almost the entire time that it's open.
Okay.
But that may change. That may change. And also there are other ones, right?
Sure.
Like that's the one that's just like, down the street, but surely there's things I could go to on different days. So it makes me want to seek that out so that I can.
I encourage you to seek that out.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's really good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Okay. Take care. Bye.